Here we have for sale our July 2020 on a 20 plate Citroen Berlingo Enterprise. This has got the 1.5 blue HDI diesel engine with 75 brake horsepower, and that's accompanied with a 5-speed manual gearbox. And what we're going to do in this video is have a little walk around. I'll show you the spec that you get on a Berlingo Enterprise of this year, and we'll also talk you through the condition of this particular vehicle, seeing as it is currently available for sale at the time of recording. So starting here at the rear of the vehicle, as we always do, we can see that this one has got rear barn doors. What I mean by that are two doors which open in that sort of fashion. And you can see on a Berlingo that you get a sort of a 60-40 split with the rear barn doors. Also on an Enterprise, as standard, you get rear parking sensors nicely integrated there into the rear bumper. In terms of condition here at the rear of the van, very difficult to fault. There's no damage at all to these rear doors. There's no dents or scratches or anything like that that I can see. Of course, this is a used van at the end of the day, even though that it is relatively new, and of course, as you'll see later in the video, quite low miles as well. It is a used vehicle, so you need to remember that. But all in all, fantastic condition here, starting off at the rear of the vehicle. So as we open up the rear barn door here, you'll see at the bottom of the rear barn door you have got this little yellow tab. If you give that a pull, you can then open the door right out there to its 180-degree position. You can do exactly the same with the other door as well, and this just then gives you maximum accessibility into the rear. It is as easy as that to do. Just give it a pull and push it with your arm. As I say, that gives you maximum accessibility into the rear, especially if you're going to be loading into the vehicle with possibly a forklift as well. It gets the doors right out the way for you. And this then gives me a chance to show you, as I say, the condition of the load area as well. And you can see that this one is fully ply lined in the back. Always nice to see fully ply lined vehicles because it protects the vehicle from any outward dents. So if you had cargo in the back of here, you were to go around a corner and the cargo were to fall to one side and hit against this panel without the ply lining, you're then going to cause a dent in the side of your van coming from the inside out, which you definitely do not want to do. Not an easy repair. But as I say, it does give fantastic protection here in the back. You can see that there's plenty of tie-down points in the rear of the vehicle as well, and then there's also these factory plastic panels on the side here, again, which all aid in protecting the van. You can also see that we've got the factory-fitted bulkhead just there. They can be removed if you want to. If you don't want the bulkhead, they are just bolted in around the outside, so you can take that out if you wanted to. And there's a very nice feature on this one as well with the load-through hatch, which I will show you in just a second. All in all, good used condition in the back of the van. Moving then down the passenger side of the vehicle then, and again, very much the same story in terms of condition. There's no marks or dents or anything like that that I can really see down the side of the vehicle. It's all looking very clean and tidy indeed. Big fuel cap on these, that's one thing that I noticed, but the reason for that is because you have got the AdBlue tank as well. The reason being for that is that this vehicle is Euro 6. So when they say, when I said near the start of the video, 1.5 blue HDI, that refers to the Euro 6 engine. So that means that you can take this vehicle into the ultra-low emission zone areas, such as central London, but those areas are becoming more and more prominent around the country, such as Manchester, Bath, etc. You can take this vehicle into those areas without having to pay the ultra-low emissions zone charge, which certainly can add up very quickly indeed. Opening up the side loading door then, we can have a good look at this factory-fitted bulkhead. Condition is all very, very good. And we can also have a look at this load-through hatch. So we've got this yellow tab on there. If you turn that to one side, you can then drop that hatch down. If we open up the passenger door here, this gives you a first look inside the cab. On top of here, you have a little blue tab up here. If you give that a pull, you can then fold the seat all the way down. And what that allows you to do is load all the way through from the back of the van through this quite big hatch. Actually, on some vans they're a lot smaller. All the way through into the front of the vehicle. We've got metal on the back of the passenger seat right the way into the passenger footwell, giving you a fantastic load length for a relatively small van. I always like to see versatility on vans, and so I always think that that is a great idea for small vans to have a load-through hatch like that. And then, as I say, once you're done with it, pick the hatch back up, turn the yellow tab to the side, locks into place, and you're good to go. It really is as simple as that. Having a look then in the cab from the passenger side, having a look at the passenger door card there, no marks or anything there, that's all absolutely spot on. And again, looking inside the cab, very much the same story here. Fantastic condition on this van throughout. You've got more versatility with these seats as well. If you pull on that little yellow tab just there, you can actually pick the seat up. That then exposes the toolkit. That's where the toolkit is kept. And as I say, you could actually maybe store something here if you needed to as well. You can pick the center seat up as well for a bit of extra storage under there. Pop that back down. And you can also as well, by pulling on this blue tab, you can also fold down the middle seat as well. Quite difficult to do with one hand. But you can fold down that middle seat as well. And then you've got this little sort of resting point here. Maybe if you were stopped somewhere to do some paperwork and things like that as well. So as plenty of versatility with these passenger seats, and in terms of condition in here, absolutely fantastic. We'll have a look at more of the features when we go around to the driver's side. Continuing then around to the front of the vehicle, this new shape front end on the Berlingo. I think they've come a long way. That's not a mark, that is a fly on the bonnet there. They've come a long way from the previous shape. I think that's a much more modern looking van. As I also mentioned at the very start of the video, this is a July 2020. So you've got 3 years of manufacturer's warranty on these vans from new. So you've got manufacturer's warranty until July 2023. So plenty of time left on that, or when the vehicle reaches 100,000 miles. On an Enterprise, you get front fog lights as standard. And you also get the wheel trims on the 15-inch steel wheels as well. And then finally, on the outside of the vehicle, having a look here down the driver's side, it's all looking in, again, very good order. It's very straight and clean. If I'm being very critical, there's two very minor little pin dents just there around the door handle, which is the only thing that I can see looking down the side of the van here. Otherwise, in fantastic used order, as I have mentioned. If we open up the driver's door then, we can have a look at the brilliant spec which you get in the cab here as a driver. And this is where these vans really show their value for money, I feel. So we have got electric windows, we've got electric mirrors as well, not folding mirrors, but electric mirrors. You've got 2 full remote keys with this particular vehicle. Much more modern steering wheel as well, I think, on this Berlingo compared to previous shapes. That was definitely a change that was well needed. Looking at the driver's seat here, plenty of adjustability on the driver's seat, and again, condition absolutely spot on. You can see the same with the floor. There's no excessive wear or anything like that to the floor just there. On the end of the stalk, you can use this button here to control the onboard computer. And if we have a look at the onboard computer, that's where you can see the mileage there at the bottom, exactly 17,000 miles. I think that's the first time that has happened of all the vehicles we've had that it's ended up landing on an exact figure like that. But exactly 17,000 miles, and here's a good representation as well. The last journey here, 50.3 miles per gallon. These vans are exceptionally economical and good on fuel. If we jump into the driver's seat, so the van is running here at the moment. If we turn the steering wheel over to the left hand side, very light steering on this van as well, I may add, which is very nice indeed. We've got cruise control down here, brilliant bit of spec to have, and you've also got auto activated lights up there as well. You can also see that the van is running and idling correctly as you'd expect really for a van with 17,000 miles and being as new as it is. Electronic handbrake in these vans, so it gives you a little bit of extra space with the 2 seats there. They've managed to maximize the size of the seats without having to leave a gap for the handbrake, so that definitely seems like a good decision. It doesn't take long at all to get used to that as well. If we look in the middle here, we've got heated wing mirrors, and we've also got air conditioning as standard on an Enterprise, so fantastic to have that. Much more modern gear lever as well. Up on top of the dashboard, there's a bit of storage up there also, and then we come on to the screen, and this is where things really ramp up. So you'll see, and you may have noticed that I've got plugged into the USB port here, I've got a phone, so I've got my phone plugged in there. Reason for that is this van has got Apple CarPlay. So anyone who's lived with Apple CarPlay before will know just how usable and fantastic it is in lots and lots and lots of different ways, really. But it's very nice to have in a vehicle. It's basically like having your phone on the screen, of course, without being too distracting, of course. But it gives you the accessibility to use apps such as Apple Maps on here as your sat nav. You can listen to your music, which you've got on your Apple Music podcasts. You can have it compose messages, create events on your calendar. Lots and lots of options on here. There's also other apps that you can get as well. If you prefer Google Maps, for instance, you can download that on your phone and you'll have that available. Or different streaming services as well for your music. So very, very usable, and as I say, once you've had a vehicle with Apple CarPlay, it's almost hard to go back, to be honest with you. On top of that, if you put the vehicle into reverse on here, it will give you the parking sensor display on here as well. And you can also, as well, if you go onto the radio button there, you can see that you've got DAB radio on here as standard. And of course, if you don't connect your phone to this via, let's say, a USB port, you can still connect it via Bluetooth as well. So you can, of course, make and answer calls all through the screen. So much more modern van now, these Berlingos, compared to where they were only a few years ago. So just to summarize, this is a 2020, a July 2020 on a 20 plate Citroen Berlingo Enterprise, the 1.5 blue HDI with 75 brake horsepower. It's the 650 model, which refers to the 650 kilogram payload. Short wheelbase as well. This isn't an extended wheelbase or anything like that. And as I say, the Enterprise model. Fantastic spec on an Enterprise, starting with parking sensors, ply lining on this particular van, side loading door. You also get things then such as, of course, the fantastic Apple CarPlay, auto-activated lights, cruise control. The list really does go on and on and on. Air conditioning, front fog lights, brilliant spec, brilliantly economical, meets the Euro 6 emissions standards as well. And of course, you've got the balance of manufacturer's warranty left on this particular vehicle as well. Fantastic condition on this particular example, only 17,000 miles, as you have seen as well. If you'd like to inquire, please feel free to give us a call on either of the numbers listed here at the bottom of the sign. We can arrange finance on all of our vehicles, starting as low as 7.9% APR. And we can also take cars or vans in part exchange as well. If you go to our website, if you haven't already, bridgenvans.co.uk, that's where you'll be able to see the full advert for this vehicle, including all the pictures and the full description as well. By all means, give us a call with any part exchange inquiries you may have, finance inquiries. We can handle all of that remotely, and we do a lot of delivery as well, so we can deliver our vans nationwide. Thank you very much for watching.